Prince William drops a huge high viewership special on the Kels Brothers podcast, which timed perfectly for Travis and Taylor's wedding. It was classy, it was very successful, and massively popular. Well, Prince Harry can't stand it. Once again, the bigger sausages prevail. Prince Harry can't stand it with a smaller sausage, so he has to do a podcast as well. And as you can imagine, people are talking about it. We have so much to get into. I have some of the questions and the craziest answers from this thing. Once again, he cannot get out of his own way. And it's his constant whining victimhood and family drama once again, and I want to expose exactly how ridiculous this is. I have some thoughts, I have an interesting theory for you, and I want to get into all of it. Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, I have such a good show. We're going to dive right into this podcast. I've got some information about it. I have an interesting theory about it, and I have some of the questions and answers from it. So I want to dive into all that. I want to show you how wildly popular Prince William's episode was that he did of the Kelsey Brothers podcast versus how this podcast is going for Harry. Hint, hint, they have not hidden the comments. I've got those ready to go and so much more. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, and leave me comments, as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my videos. I sincerely appreciate that. And I appreciate every one of you. I truly do. All right, let's get into this. So as we know, Prince William was on a special release of the New Heights podcast. That's one with Jason and Travis Kelce. It's a hugely popular podcast, and it hit on July 3rd, 2026, the exact day of Travis and Taylor's wedding. Okay. It was clearly timed as a big celebratory crossover event. Prince William discussed his love of football, both soccer and American football. They talked about the World Cup, things like that. And everybody talked about how Prince William came off as warm and engaging and classy and all the things. Then you have Harry. So Harry appeared, it would have been Monday the 13th, on Joe Marler Will See You Now podcast. And Joe Marler is a former England rugby player. So Harry was, it said he was there to promote his 2027 Invictus games. The reason I'm laughing like that is because I did listen to the whole podcast. I'll get into it. And I think it was like 47 minutes long, something along those lines. And I promise you, only the last 15 minutes of it got into Invictus, and it's only because Harry brought in somebody from Invictus, and that person seemed to be a little bit more level-headed and did talk a little bit about Invictus. We'll get into that. But I want to start and point out that Prince William got the primetime special episode on a massive day. Everybody was talking about the wedding. On a top-tier sports podcast, Harry got a rugby podcaster and delivered toilet humor. It's worse than you think. All right. So the podcast Prince William was on, New Heights, is a monster. It averages about 2 million views on YouTube per episode. It's huge. And the Prince William episode is a major event with surprise royal buzz and lots of positive media coverage. People were all over it. And they talked about how Prince William was very much in touch with popular culture, but he was able to come across, again, they emphasized the classy, and he maintained his dignity throughout. Okay. Then there's Harry. So it's too new for a full metrics release. I mean, again, it's one day. It's got about 100,000 views, which is, I mean, that's good for a YouTube show, but it's not on pace to hit anywhere near, not even in the ballpark of Williams' numbers. We'll see what happens there. I'll definitely follow back, but it's got mixed to negative reviews and mainstream coverage. Again, I pulled some of the comments, so we'll look at that, but I just wanted to paint the picture of what's going on. I have specific questions and answers that Harry took on in this thing. It's a disaster. But I want to first point out something that has popped into my brain that I think I'm onto something. Okay, here goes. So I started thinking about, I was like, when would he have filmed this? Because as I understand it, the Joe Marler Will See You Now They film it. I've been Googling and looking into this. I'm going to stop at big fat allegedly, but I just want you to think about this. So, from what I can tell, this podcast is filmed in Kensington Podcast Studios in London. That's his regular studio. Okay. It was filmed during Harry's recent trip to the UK. It was not remote. Okay. And I just want to remind you all that I talked about an event in a video that he missed an event, and it was a big deal. It was a train unveiling, and that's supposed to mark the 1-year countdown to Invictus. And I still had this spidey sense tingling. I said at the time, I was like, it's weird that he missed that. It's more than just lose. I mean, that court loss was huge, but it's more than that. He missed one of the biggest events for Invictus, and that's weird. I'm telling you, I can't prove it, but I have a strong suspicion. I bet he was filming this. It would make sense that he would miss an event. It doesn't make sense to miss an event, but it would make sense timing wise. It would make sense that he would potentially, take a car or whatever down to London, however he got there, take a trip down to London, miss a day of Invictus to go do this. It tracks with what we know of Harry and Meghan. Remember, they missed the veterans event to pitch her for at the Lion King premiere. Who could forget that? Do you know she does voiceover work? Yes. So they have a history of doing things like that. Supposed to, be somewhere else to honor veterans, and they just go to do things to honor themselves. I feel like that we're doing this again. He quite literally missed the train. So I just wonder if it's not something like that once again. So I just want you to keep that in mind when we're talking about this, because I'm stuck on that. I really feel strongly. All my Googling, everything is acting like that I straight up asked Google AI, and it says that it lines up that could be the case. So that's interesting. All right. So let's talk about some of the specifics from this episode. I want my life back. I want my life back. Okay. So the reason my name is this: Gin, Mom, Goose, Blonde, Air Breather, Human, is because that's basically how Harry was answering the questions. The first question was, what is your name? I'm surprised he got that right. So he went through his list of all his names. Okay. The next question, what's your occupation? I know you know, but if you don't know, do you know what he said? He said, full-time dad, British Army veteran, Prince of England, Duke, but for today, I don't know. What do you want? And then they settled on Duke. He later, they claimed that he was the inventor of Invictus, and he clarified that he's the founder. I'm short-circuiting. Where do I start? Prince of England is not an occupation. Duke is not an occupation, especially when you are not a full-time working royal. Royal title is not job. He stepped back from royal duties. I could make the case for Prince William, and it's not just because I love Prince William, but because he's out there doing things for future king. And same with Catherine, Princess of Wales. They're out there doing these things and showing up for charities and all the things that they do. What is Harry doing? And reference to these titles, I can't think of anything. But again, he publicly stepped back, as we know. So his title is actually Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. So even technically, this is what people are calling out, Prince of England is not correct. It's inaccurate, and it's so hypocritical. That's the point that I want to hammer home. He walked away from everything. He's done nothing but monetize criticism of it, and still leaning on these titles for status and for paychecks and for attention. That's what they both do. It just comes especially as crazy timing after this meeting with King Charles. Now, I'm not dare saying anything good came out of that meeting. We don't know what came out of that meeting, but I don't think it was good optics for any of them. I would argue, though, that people who are not in the know and that don't follow this stuff he may have gained a fraction of a positive point from the meeting. I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm just saying, hear me out. Optics, for people who don't closely follow this, probably think, oh, cool, they met. Well, he goes and does this podcast where he acts like an ass, and And basically, it's just shot himself in the foot. He cannot get out of his own way. I feel like he's his own worst enemy. I don't understand the point of this at all. I'm not just going after Harry because I can't stand Harry. And make no mistake, I can't stand Harry, especially, I mean, every week it's something new. But he's just, after this white pill allegation and all this stuff, I'm done with him. And the way he treated, his grandmother and Catherine, everything, I'm done with him. But I understand, probably more than most, the idea of humor and joking around, and I celebrate it. I think humor is a great, uniter. I think it's a great way to communicate. I often do it. I was singing Little Shop of Horrors in my yesterday video, great. If he's joking around, fine. I can't even fault him on that. Except for it was just the most bizarre thing. Because it's like I just don't think, this is my opinion, he intellectually doesn't have the ability to joke around. He's not quick enough. And I feel like, so instead, his idea of joking around goes to, no offense to 12-year-olds, but 12-year-old toilet humor. There was a lot of that in this. He's selling it as a way to advertise Invictus, but he mostly made poop jokes. It was very weird. Again, while leaning on his titles. It's very weird. Starting with, they asked him, what is your grooming routine? And his answer was shit, shower, and shave. Now, believe me, I've heard that before. You've heard that before. It's nothing new, but it's just, is that really, while you're in the same breath waving around your titles and talking about, your background, are you gonna throw that around? Probably not. It's just so weird. It's toilet humor from a 40-something-year-old man. It's not that I see him as a prince, because again, he walked away. But if you're gonna call yourself a prince, wouldn't you say that that's unprincely, undignified, and the kind of thing that would make, again, what little bit of popularity he may have had just go? Ugh. I think he was just I think he just comes across as juvenile. I think he was going for self-deprecating, but it's juvenile because later he makes more poop jokes about being in the military and pooping his pants. It's just like, what are we doing? It just gave me the ick. It really did. Let's see. Oh, another big point that I want to make is they asked him about the most famous people in his phone, his most famous contacts. And I just was like, this was a layup for this guy, right? But he's such an idiot. He never gets it right. And it's reminiscent once again of Meghan, because remember, when Meghan guest edited that Vogue magazine, right? She picked the most influential women. Well, everybody talked about how of the influential women she could have picked, she skipped Her Majesty the late Queen, the longest reigning female, and all the wonderful things she did, and Meghan just completely ignored her and snubbed the royal family. Well, Prince Dipshit just did the same thing. He named off 2 sports guys, and I don't pretend to know sports, but it wasn't anybody that I've heard of. I mean, they're probably famous. I don't know. I don't care, but I just think that's a layup, and he just names 2 random sports guys. And picking them over the king, again, it's not that I need him to do anything with the royal family. He stepped back. But if you're going to lean into that, it just seems like rude and disrespectful. Same thing with Meghan when she was doing that Vogue thing. It's rude and disrespectful. But again, if we're going to contrast, look at Prince William. He engaged positively and can do so without needing to shade anybody, especially the family. So, yeah, I just really got the ick from this interview. I didn't think it did him any favors. I think he was trying to go for casual and personality, and I don't think he has much of one. That's just my opinion. I just don't. I think he thinks 12-year-old boy. It's the same thing with Prince Andrew. We've heard about those practical jokes where he was allegedly shoving people's faces in, was it pate or something? That's not funny. I don't find, and I love joke around about most things, but I don't find that funny. I think there's just a different level of funny, and that's not it. That's not it. It's somebody else's expense. That's not it. I just don't see it. What else? There's so much backlash coming out of this. People are talking about, and I've got some comments pulled to go over that. But the hypocrisy of using his titles once again, and then the idea that he quit the firm, criticizes it, tries to make money off of it, and is using it in this podcast to try to promote himself. There's so many layers of craziness to this. The cringe factor, not only was it poop, 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 it was explicit humor, bodily function. People, again, I'm not just coming down on Harry. That seems to be the consensus. Some people said that it humanized him a little bit, but I think, again, Prince William is a good example of showing how to humanize yourself without going there. I think there's many ways to do it. And I just think Harry is like, not to make any excuse for him, he is his own worst enemy, and he is stunted at like 12 years old. And it's weird. It's gross and weird to see. It is. It's just, yeah. It's not that it's shocking. It's just gross and weird to see. He tried too hard. He missed the authenticity, I think, that Prince William had. It seems like a pattern of self-sabotage. Anytime he maybe ekes it up a little bit, he just does stuff like this. He can't get out of his own way. And I think a lot of time it's his anger that brings him down and he makes dumb decisions. I think this was his ego. Probably both. Yeah, I think Prince William has shown once again he represents more of a stability that people are craving, and a quiet dignity that you would expect out of a royal family member or a future king. Harry's just re-emphasized that he's problematic. So now I thought we could take a look at some of the comments. Like I say, they're left on from this podcast episode. Brave, I would say, but let's take a look and see what people are saying. And just to give you a heads up, they're overwhelmingly negative. His occupation is Prince of England. Thought he escaped all that on the Freedom Flight and was living his best life in California. He seems to forget that. He has to be reminded. He had to be reminded that he was miserable when he met Meghan, and now he has to be reminded of living in California. Harry has never been very bright. Notice they are talking about poop, the subject, my 4-year-old. Exactly. That's exactly it. Yep, absolutely. How is Prince an occupation? What are his duties and or responsibilities? I wonder what he does all day long. Absolutely. And you know what? I would like to say this too. I mean, it's debatable if you list parent as an occupation. When I was a stay-at-home mom, sure, I absolutely, that was my occupation because that was my focus. Gosling's a little older, so I can do this now at the same time. So I don't know that I'd list mom as my occupation. Mom is who I am, if you want to get down to it. So I think it's a little bit weird that he's listing father. But I will say, I think I have more of a right to do it than he does. I don't have nannies. It's me. So what are we talking about? How is that his occupation? Henry is an idiot prince. He needs to lose his titles and line of succession. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus as well. Oh my gosh, I had to laugh when they asked him what his job is. He rambled off all the blank. He's unemployed. Yeah, I think so too. Remember Harry making fun of William for going bald? Yes, I do. And then he kind of talked about, it was so weird. He tried to say he wasn't ginger, that he was more auburn in this one. And then I guess one of the other hosts had thinning hair, and he kind of made jokes about it too. And it's funny coming on the heels of him calling William alarmingly bold. I can't believe he stooped this low. Oh, wait. Yes, I can believe it. Yeah, I think that's my feeling too. It's anybody else, I'd be like, what is he thinking? But it's Harry. I mean, I think we can easily overlook his need for attention because Meghan's always looking for attention, but he needs it too. It's like his oxygen or something. Sorry, this is not how a prince of the realm should behave. I agree. I think it should. I mean, he's made his decision. He's stepped back. acting like this, why let him keep the prince title? I don't know. We still don't know how Invictus is using their money. Exactly this. If they're paying themselves as celebrity, goes to the veteran that was hurt in the process. Hurt in the game. Yeah, I mean, I would like to know that too. Where's the money? Where's the money going? Why is it so much more expensive for this set of games than the other ones that we've heard about? Yeah, that's a great question and a great point. He can't speak to that. He couldn't even answer basic questions about Invictus. He ended up defaulting to, I forget the other guy's name that was there with him. It was weird. At the end, they asked him something about Invictus, and he just kind of deer in headlights and looked over at the other guy. I was like, you go. And I was like, if you're, I don't believe he's the founder, but whatever. I think it was a busy work that the palace gave him. So if he's pretending to be whatever he is, shouldn't he be able to answer basic questions about Invictus? He can't. I'd like to know why that is. Okay, now I would like to take a look at your comments and look at what's the Gooseip. That's where I pull things that you all are talking about, things that have come up from recent videos, and whatever's on your mind. So be sure to leave me comments. You might be featured in an upcoming episode of What's the Gooseip. Let's start with Diane Schmidt, 661. So Diane was I got so many funny responses. I put up in yesterday's video, and I put up a short about it, about how Meghan has such a weird walk. She seems to lead with her cash and prizes. And so I started singing Little Shop of Horrors and Feed Me Seymour. So Diane says, regarding walking, Meghan staggers while Catherine glides. And then Diane says, I meant to write swaggers, but staggers will still do just well. That made me laugh so hard. You're absolutely right. I had so many funny comments on that, and a lot of you enjoyed my singing. I'm sorry for that. All right. Let's see. KL Peterson says, when she's trying to do a catwalk walk, a lot of people brought up the Paris walk too. She leads with her fly trap pushed forward. I hate almost everything she wears because nothing ever fits. She's always wrinkled, creased mess. She has no awareness of her body type, but her outfits, while in royal family, they usually wore her. This green monstrosity in particular. I was showing that cape dress that she wore where it looks like she got stuck in an elevator. And yeah, she was leading with her Venus flytrap, and people were commenting about that. All right. And then let's see. This one's by Lisa Lerman that says, dining out on Diana. This was on the one I put up a video recently. If you missed it, go back and watch it, where I show a lot of instances where when they get bad press, they trot out Diana. Or if they're trying to justify something that they've done that people are deeming as bad behavior, if you will, they roll out Diana. So they did that again after this insane week of nonsense out of the two of them. So that was such a good point. That's what he accused John Travolta of, is dining out on Diana. And I feel like they've done that as well. Thank you for that, Lisa. All right. This one is, let's make it bigger. This one is from, was it HMF 1950? Meghan claimed to know nothing about the royal family prior to meeting Harry. Harry claimed vague memories of his mother, hence all these associations of her seemed tedious and fake. I thought that was such a good point. You're absolutely right. So two people who claim to not know much about I mean, I get it. I get it'd be different with Harry, but as a lot of you pointed out in the comments, he was very young. So you would have a younger understanding. I feel like it just plays into that it's a stretch the way that it makes no sense the way she uses Diana, and it's a stretch the way that he uses Diana. And then I want to shout out Surprise Me Cakery. Hello. I shouted her out the other day, and then I got this follow-up that I just had to show you all. My 5-year-old granddaughter, if you tell me her first name, I'll say hi to her. And I watched the episode you did 2 days ago where you read my comment, and she was starstruck. Oh, she said, Gigi, that's your photo, then lunged at me while squealing. Well, hi, Gigi, and hi, grandbaby. Thank you so much for your comments and for watching. I really appreciate that. How are you? Hi. So cute. Anyway, but keep leaving me your comments, everybody, and you might be featured on an upcoming episode of What's the Goose Up? And how about this? When you leave me comments, if you want to leave me like say grandbaby Sarah or dog Kip, whatever, like at the end, I can shout them out as well when I read your comments. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this as they do more crazy things. I'm going to talk about it. I'm sure more is you're going to hear days and days about this podcast, I'm sure. Yeah, if you want to further support the show, there's several ways you can do it. You can click around on my Amazon links. That always helps me. I appreciate it. I actually got this shirt from Amazon. This is my first time wearing it. I thought it was so pretty. It's like that French, here you go, French blue. I just thought it was really nice. And I like the cut of it where it cuts up and then down like that. So let me know your thoughts on that. And also, if you want to further support, you can check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. It's my old name, but it's got tons of new stuff, tons of bonus stuff, hundreds of episodes. You can find all kinds of stuff over there. Check that out if you're interested. And a huge thank you for the love and support of my executive geese and ganders. That's going to do it for me. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. I truly hope you all have the best day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Bye-bye. Hello, how are you? I tried something new with my hair today, and I think it turned out nice. So I use, again, in the Amazon links, I have the hair products that I use, but I use like some Moroccan hair oil stuff, and I got some texture spray. So I sprayed a little, that dry texture spray, I sprayed a little bit of that, and then instead of fully curling, I just did the wrap around. My hair lady tries to teach me tricks, but I use where you hold the hair and wrap it around the curler while holding the curler straight up and down. And then it just kind of makes a wave like this. And I really like it. I think it turned out nice. Let me know your thoughts on the look. I also do, again, it's in the Amazon stuff. I do hair masks, and that kind of gives it the shiny feeling that I like so much. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I love this color so much. I'm really into it. I think it's really pretty. I also got this style shirt in like a peacock blue, so I'll be wearing that soon. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. If you stay tuned this long, I don't know. Name a podcast you'd like to see Prince William on. It could be anything. If there's a podcast that you like, if there's some topic you'd like to see him talk about, I would love him to be on Off Menu Podcast. It's a wildly popular podcast with two comedians. I really love it. It's out of the UK, and they ask you what's your favorite, like what's your dream dish for starter? What's your dream main dish? What's your dream side dishes? What's your dream drink? What's your dream dessert? Who would you be eating with? Where would you be dining? And it kind of gets into interesting food conversations, and you get to know people's personalities. What kind of bread do you like? I'd like to see him do something like that. And I'd like for Catherine to be there too and answer some of the questions. That'd be so cool. Anyway, let me know, what podcast would you like to see Prince William on, or Catherine, either one. All right, take care. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.